Yo, what's up, vinyl community and YouTube land? Kendall Stokes coming at you with a video today. Today I'm going to talk about something I've only done a couple times and worked out pretty well this go around. So yesterday was Saturday and my wife and I decided to have a date night, I guess you could say. When you have a 4-year-old, you realize how difficult that can be to do. So we drove up to where my parents live, which is about 45 minutes from here, and dropped off Sarah there and spent about 3 or 4 hours just by ourselves. Went and got some food. Went to this really cool shop that has like a lot of unique, vintage type stuff. They also had records, and I gotta tell you, I was not impressed with the records. They had some good records, but the prices I thought were astronomical, and they weren't even really kept in great condition. Like they weren't in plastic sleeves or anything, and they were just kind of all piled in these bins, and just not really the best kept. And for the prices that they were wanting, I just thought it was just not good enough. So we decided to leave that place after looking around and seeing a bunch of cool stuff. But we decided to go to a thrift store. We went to Goodwill. There's actually 2 Goodwills there where my parents live, and one's brand new. And I see all these videos of people, with these amazing Goodwill thrift store finds, and I'm like, that just doesn't ever happen for me. I find the typical stuff that you are gonna find, classical, or and not that there's anything wrong with classical, of course, but oh look, it's Roger Whittaker, or it's Johnny Mathis, or it's Bing Crosby, or just stuff that I really don't want, and stuff you normally see at like a dollar bin at a record store. And like I said, not that there's anything wrong, obviously people bought those records or else they wouldn't be taking them back to a thrift store. But I was surprised at what I found. I picked up a nice little stack of records, and I'm just going to kind of show you what I got. I thought some of them were pretty cool. First record I'm going to show is Air Supply's Greatest Hits. Now, some people might say, well, Air Supply doesn't really have any hits. Well, that's obviously not true. They were very popular in the 70s and 80s. This is on the Arista label. This thing, is in excellent condition. And by the way, all these records I'm getting ready to show you are $1, or were $1. But, this record in great condition, VG Plus all the way around, the sleeve, or the cover. I gave all of these records a good cleaning and play tested them, and they all play. Some look almost unplayed, to be honest with you. After I cleaned them, I was very impressed. But this is, like I said, it's Air Supply's Greatest Hits, which this is definitely not a hot, expensive record. You probably find this for like $5 anywhere. I think Discogs even shows it like the median at like $7 or $8, and top price like $15 or whatever. It's all circumstantial, but I was just very, very impressed to find it for $1 and find it in as great condition as possible, because that's another thing about thrift stores, especially Goodwills. You look for a record, you find the records, and the records most of the time are shot and in terrible condition. And I gotta say, all these, after I gave them a good clean, in pretty good condition. This one right here, Marty Robbins RFD. This is on the Columbia 2i. It's like a 50 something mono. It definitely shows its age. I'm a huge Marty Robbins fan because of my dad. Grew up listening to Marty Robbins. This record, though, I was not very familiar with. I didn't really know any of the songs on it. But for $1, I was like, I'm gonna buy it. Even like I said, it looked, there's some scuffs and some marks on it, but it plays through. Yeah, it's got its crackles and pops as you would expect. But again, this is like a 60-plus-year-old record. So just thought that was pretty cool. like I said, Marty Robbins, is, I think, a phenomenal singer. He had a great voice. Another guy that kind of left way too soon in the 80s. And like I said, I can't help but see a Marty Robbins album and think of my dad. And, so for $1, I couldn't pass it up. This one right here is actually something I've never seen before. This is Bill Medley. I Still Do. Which, Bill Medley, half of the Righteous Brothers. I grew up with the Righteous Brothers. My dad had, I remember having that Greatest Hits album. And, you can't help but think of, two big songs, especially, I think, Unchained Melody. But then, of course, Top Gun made You've Lost That Love and Feeling very popular. And then, of course, he went solo. And, he did the duet for Dirty Dancing. None of those songs were, of course, on this. This came out in the early 80s on RCA, and it came out, apparently they were doing this specialty thing here, because in the corner here it says specialty priced mini LP. So there's only 6 songs on it, and it's on the RCA Victor Black label. Again, pretty much perfect condition. Like I said, I'm a huge Righteous Brothers fan. I think Bill Medley had an amazing voice, and so did the other guy, and his name escapes me right now. But again, for $1, yeah, I'll buy that. Am I going to keep it for a long time? Probably not. But I just thought it was cool. Next one, this one I thought was a gem. To find this for $1, and again, it's like in almost perfect shape. I was so excited about it, honestly. But Beverly Hills Cop, that's cool. Great movie, great soundtrack. Axel Foley's theme is classic. There's some good ones on here that The Heat is on. What else? New Attitude. Just classic 80s. Hilarious movie, fun soundtrack. And again, this is like almost perfect. It's on the MCA Rainbow label here. Again, this thing's probably worth $10 to $15, and I paid $1 for it. Pretty exciting. Now, I just want to, and go ahead and say, I didn't say this video was going to have, like, grails or, like, anything just massively mind-blowing, but just some good stuff. This one here is one I had never seen before. This is Hall & Oates, Live Line. Yeah, Live Line. Also out on the RCA Victor label, came out in 1978. It's a live album, although it's a short album. There's like 7 songs on it. But it's got some good ones. Rich Girl, Sarah Smile, Lunchbog. I can't even. Anyway, this one's got a little bit more surface noise than I would prefer, so I don't know if I'll keep this one. But again, for $1 to find it, especially something I had never seen before, I was, and I am a big Hall & Oates fan, actually. Sarah Smile is one of my all-time favorite songs. My daughter's name is Sarah. My wife would say that she's named after a relative. I say she's named after this song. I chose that song because, one thing, I like it, and it's a song that I knew that I could sing to her as like a lullaby at night or whatever. Just you think of fatherly things like that. So, but anyway, I thought that was kind of a neat find. But the last 2 are the ones that I was like really excited about. First is Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, So Far. This is their first compilation album. Came out in 1974. Artist drawing by Joni Mitchell, of course, who we all know she dated like half of them. But this is actually on the, this is an original first pressing. It's a PR pressing. It's on the Atlantic green and red. But this thing did not have a mark on it. I cleaned it. Did not have a mark. No noise, feedback of any kind. No crackles, no pops, nothing. Plays perfect. The cover obviously, looks worn. I mean, it's a 50-year-old record almost. And, white does not stay white for very long. But I mean, what I was really excited about this because the song Ohio, which was written by Neil Young and performed by the band, but sung by Neil Young, he wrote that song during the Deja Vu sessions, or like right after the Deja Vu album came out, and it didn't make it on any album. It was just a single, but it's on this, and so I was very excited. I mean, any compilation album by Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young is pretty awesome, and there's some great songs on here. So I was very excited to have that. I have 2 Crosby, Stills, and Nash albums. Their first 2, which I think are the only 2 really worth having, to be honest with you, and then this. So very excited to add this to the collection. It's pretty awesome. Now, this next record is the one that blew my mind whenever I saw it, because I'm thinking, what in the world is this record doing at a Goodwill in Podunk, North Carolina? Little, not tiny town, but a small town, at a Goodwill. It was so out of place with all the other records there, and it was just like, okay, I'm buying this no matter what, just because, it's there. And it's OutKast. A Q Mini, I don't even know how you say that. This was like their 3rd album, maybe? It came out in 1998. This is a 3 LP set. Apparently it was widely regarded. But I just saw this and I was like, what is this doing there? It does not fit in at all. And I looked it up on Discogs, and they're going for like $30 to $40. Now the only thing is, after I got them out and I cleaned them and they looked really good, all 3 records, however, are warped. So that was a little disheartening, but I know a guy who can maybe try to get the warps out. Now, I also have to say, I am not a fan of OutKast. I am not a fan of this kind of music. This just isn't my style. But I know plenty of people are. And this is a 2009 reissue. If it was a first pressing, it'd be worth a lot more money. But I cleaned it, and I play tested them for a short time because I didn't want to ruin my needle, because they're pretty warped. But they play through fine. No surface noise, no nothing, just as clear as can be. Was very impressed by that. But this is a record that I will probably try to see if I can get the all 3 of them flattened, and if they are, I'll probably try to sell it, just because people love this band. Don't know why exactly, but no, I mean, I'm not putting any music down really, but it's just not my thing. But I know a lot of people love this kind of stuff. So if I can get these things flattened, I mean, I just scored a heck of a deal for a $1 record to end up being, however much I could get for it. And like I said, I mean, it looks pretty good. Like the cover itself isn't really in bad shape. Maybe a little bends here and there, but I mean, still, just what in the world? So anyway, just thought that was pretty cool. But we'll see. But yeah, so that was my day yesterday, looking through records at a Goodwill, and found some pretty cool stuff. That never happens to me. Each time I go to a Goodwill, I find Tom Jones and Roger Whittaker and Johnny Mathis and Jim Nabors, all that kind of stuff. Did a little bit better this go around, I think. But yeah, so a lot of fun. It was also nice just to spend the day with my wife. So, but anyway, if you have found some awesome gems at a Goodwill, leave me a comment. Tell me what you found, like stuff that you just were so blown away by. I love to see those kinds of stories. I get a little jealous too, but they're cool stories. Anyway, if you guys would, if you feel up to it, leave me a like, subscribe, a share, whatever. I would appreciate it. If not, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully you watched and hopefully you enjoyed. But